set everything up properly. A little bit too loud. Give me 1 second. Okay, try that. That is background. Looks like it's background. Why is my ducking so strong? Hold up. Filter is too strong. Hi, Super Gamer Awake Apple. I edited it really quickly. The open threshold is too powerful. Oh, okay. What about... Okay. That's too much. Also too much. Also too much. I love how it's getting my click clacks now, hang on. I'm gonna keep clicking until it doesn't pop up anymore. I'm clicking. Thank you everybody for joining. We're gonna pop the screen out in a second. I've got my painting metal set up and I've got the minis out. It's all terrain today. It's all miniature terrain stuff, so. Okay, I think I found the right setting. I'm also gonna be like right here on the microphone because of the way that the paint stuff works. I'm gonna be right up on my desk, so I won't have to talk as loud, but let me adjust the door in my room so I don't bother anybody else. We've got the windows open because it is a beautiful day here. There will still be airflow even with my door closed. I'm gonna slide right up to my desk. And alright, so I think let me adjust the close threshold as well. Maybe somewhere in there. Or maybe in there. Yeah, I guess I think the delay, I think the hold and delay time is what I'm more concerned about than anything else. Yeah. Okay. Let's swap over the screen. We have our camera. It's currently... Alright, there we go. The little VTuber's working. It's currently out of focus because this is small painting stuff, so I'm gonna be up here while we're painting. This is where I'm gonna be holding stuff, so... I have the autofocus turned off. I don't want it to be, like, focusing on stuff. I've got these two pieces right now that I've started the white on a while back, and I'm gonna need to do a lot more of the white, so you can see I've started up here with this white. I need to go all the way around, and it's all of that tiny detail inside of there that I need to do. This is the size of our brush. It's a 20-0. It is tiny, and I think it's actually better to see it probably there. You can see how small it is. Let's tilt it so it's not shining bright. They're basically parallel there. I can put them like right next to each other like that, so you can see how big the brush is. And we're doing all of these little white pieces to start with. If we finish this, which I expect this to take the longest time, there's so much to go around there. Let me also move my paint so that it's visible. Let's tilt it this way, I think will make it look visible for y'all. And then afterwards, if we do enough stuff on there, I have full-size terrain pieces that need to be painted. This is actually one of the ones I started painting. The white on the skulls and on these windows needs to get done. And, oh, also the white on these candles, which is going to be painted, you know, red later. And probably some other things. I might add some white to these scroll work pieces to make them look more marbly, but the first two layers, which are the black base coat and then the top-down sprinkling of light color to make them look more stone-colored, is done. And I've just started doing all these white pieces. So like you can see, there's plenty of windows on this one I haven't done yet. But yeah, that's if we get a chance to do it. And there are, I believe, 8 of those individual pieces to work on, and there's another 8 smaller pieces of terrain that I could do work on. If we get to that point, but I don't have the stamina typically for that. Just got a new PS3 a few days ago. It's really addicting playing Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron. Congrats. On my new acquires, I have a PS5 controller now. I still own a PS5, but I did get a controller. And the whole reason I got that was because I had to replace yet another PS4 controller because this port is always the issue. This always breaks on me. So you can see it's used, but it's a functional controller. I needed a new PS4 one because Battleborn uses PS4. And the PS5 one is for everything else. So I've been playing Satisfactory with that. You've been playing the online non-stop. Remember to take breaks, my friend. Okay, another thing I wanted to test before I get to painting this. I need to see if I set up this sound stuff.
Okay.
Nope, I did not. Cool, okay. I don't know how to set up the music so that you guys can hear the music and I can have like background talking noise, like podcast noise for me. What I may need to do, first off, I need to put the score on loop and also shuffle because I don't want to listen to that in order. And then second of all, I don't know how to fix that sound issue. I don't know what the best way to do that is. Well, this is fine, I guess. The alternative is we have no music, and it'll be quiet aside from when I'm talking. You've not been on PS3 since October 2025 because October was when your old PS3 slim broke down from overheating? Yeah. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do then, let's go ahead and just turn off the music for y'all. Y'all can put on some quiet music in the background if you really want it. That will simplify everything on my end. That way I can have some background noise for me. I am gonna still turn down the volume on that because I want it to be quieter. That way I don't I'm not actively listening to it. Okay. Everything looks good. Alright, let me grab, y'all can see my desk right here. Just the bare tip of it on some of y'all. Let me slide all the way up here. I've got to get my paint out. We just need a little sploosh. We're barely using any paint here at all. I need a splash of water, which is why I have a giant cup of water. That's also for when if we get to big stuff. I did not bring my big brush out if we do any big work, but we're gonna mix some water in here so we can get like a really usable viscosity. And I don't think I can get my face close enough to this because my head is like level with the camera. I don't think it's possible for me to get too close to this. Where do I want to put? Alright, that's some trash. We can move that over there. This is usable paint here. And y'all are not going to be able to see because I'm not going to adjust the white balance so that you can see in here in the white because most of the stuff we're going to be looking at is going to be dark, so There's our first bit of well-mixed paint on there. And I'm going to start with this one. This one's going to be a little bit easier to work with. Been several days since I've done any painting. I'm also afraid because my monitor is literally right here, where my finger is touching. That's literally my monitor. I'm afraid of moving my brush too far and getting paint on it, which, to be fair, there's paint on it from many, many years ago when I've done costume painting at my desk. That was about a decade ago, I think. I have to find where it's at. Yeah, it's down here. It's this green smudge right here. My monitor is ancient. I also don't like, I'm already doing this very messily. Yeah, I'm already doing it a bit too heavy-handed. Probably want it slightly less viscous. And a little bit less paint on the brush. You forgot how long campaigns can be because you forgot you played the campaign so many times? Yeah, I do the same thing with games. I'm like, oh, I'll just run through it really quick, 8 hours later. I really don't know how I feel about this today. I feel like I'm way too... So this one's a little... This side is a nice square angle on it, right? This area that's the light green. This side is at a weird angle. I don't know... So if I didn't know that this wasn't like cast plastic, I would guess that this weird angle would be from like a printing process. Because you have this sort of thing with like 3D printed parts. You don't know how your laptop that's newer can't even run Transformers War for Cybertron and Transformers Follow Cybertron at full 30 FPS on your laptops. You've been playing PS3, it's more stable. It's, you know, stuff gets out of date, right? Stuff gets out of date. You don't have access to like the drivers that were relevant at that point in time, and that stuff is no longer like supported, right? The format and everything. I'm gonna adjust my light actually. I should look to make sure I'm not messing up y'all's lighting while I'm doing this, but the paint that I have for this is, you can see it's like got that gold shine to it, and it's like a dark metal. It's kind of like that pyrite yellow. But the angle I had my light at made it really difficult for me to get in here. How about this? Let's take a look here. Also, hi, Tony Leon. I do have both my Twitch chat open and my YouTube chat open. I previously have forgotten to open up my YouTube chat. Oh, I'm so nervous. This is way too much paint on this brush. Here we go. The fact that I've already, like, really messed up this side piece, and I didn't even... The reason why this wasn't painted was because I didn't even see this side piece. This is such a weird place. None of the other terrain parts have this on it. Oh, it's so fat. I'm gonna do just wiping away some excess, and it's gonna mess up some of the metal paint, but that's fine. One of the final things I'm gonna have to do with the other pieces I didn't bring over here is I still need to paint this rock stuff. And that's gonna be, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rocks yet. I think I want them almost very charcoal and obsidian-like, and I just don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet. I may make a paint, or I may just start with like a black to get rid of the metallic sheen, or I may just do a black wash to make it kind of different from the metal parts. Okay, yeah, that looks really crappy, but this area is not super ideal for me here. And also, normally I would have I would have trained this brush tip to be a little bit straighter, but it's a little crooked right now. There's so many things about this that are not ideal. Oh, that's awful. Oh my gosh, look how messy this is. We're gonna wipe away what's above that. That's the nice thing about working on something that's like in a niche, right? You can kind of just slap paint inside and then wipe away everything on top, aside from the fact that I have a white sheen on top now. You've been more of a console gamer than a PC, even if you have to play more on PC as a kid. On a really old ThinkPad, console gamer was more fun because it makes you feel like you have more access to video games. I was a console gamer all the way up through, I want to say probably till Battleborn, right? Battleborn was like my transition point. I played on PS4 and on PC. And basically since then I have not had anything new I wanted to play on PS4 that I couldn't just play on PC. Because like that was the same time that like Persona 5 came out. And I played that on PS4. But I really wished I had access to it on PC for reasons. And now I have Royal on Steam. Once we finish Persona 3, we will do Royal. I don't know if I want to paint all that in there, because that whole thing's not completely modeled on there. I think that's probably all I'm going to do on this. We'll set that aside. We'll go back to this one. This is the piece that terrifies me the most. I started working on that and then I stopped because it's such a pain. But this also needs a much lower viscosity paint mix, so it's going to be way wetter, and we're going to be dabbing into the nooks and probably wiping away a lot. I also don't like the way the light... I wish... So normally in my normal painting setup, which is not at this desk, I have the light more behind me. I might actually... Let me change the focus on the camera. This might actually work out better. I might do the painting down here instead. Configure. Doesn't help that a lot of times these windows open in specific places and they're not in places I want them to be. Okay, we're down here. It's just gonna be harder if I don't have it up here for y'all to see. Maybe this is better right there. Let's go with this. If you can remember, this was a while ago. You and a friend were on the co-op campaign on Transformers War for Cybertron. You'd keep dying on hard mode. Zeta Prime Frost. Yeah. Okay. I gotta stop putting this off. I'm so terrified of this. This is I just gotta do it. Where do I actually want to start with this, actually? Let me get this extra wet. We're literally just touching in here and it fills up via surface tension. So if you have like panel liner, either for miniatures or for like model kits like Gunpla, that's basically the viscosity that I have right here. And I'm avoiding touching anywhere I don't need to touch, but at the same time, it's not a huge deal if I do touch somewhere I'm not supposed to because of the viscosity. And it's really easy to not have enough paint on this. Too much water and not enough paint, and then when you roll it back, you end up with nothing. Like just a translucent pale instead of white. Alright, let's wipe that back. Okay, that looks pretty decent. It's super scary, and then once I do it, I'm like, you know what, that's not that bad. This happens every time I do painting. I'm terrified, I hate it, and then I do it, and I'm like, oh, but it looks better after it's painted. Let's go in here. And even with a tiny brush like this, you still have all of this amount of paint. We still get like an inch worth of painting done. As I say, I don't know if I can even get in that nook, but I can. Just not great. Okay, deep breaths. This kind of reminds you of how gentle you try to be when you apply glue to the joint of your Transformers figures, because sometimes the joints would come loose. Yeah, especially if you're just trying to add, you know, mass so that they're not loose anymore and you're not trying to lock them in. Alright, this whole section I just messed up, but that's okay. We're gonna wipe it back. I like fat fingered that whole thing. The brush, I didn't get the brush tip really nice and clean, so that's okay. It's all gross looking. Wipe it back. Okay, it's better. Not great, but better. We can also stick our finger in to get it in there if there's just way too much paint in general. Get it out of the nook. Okay, that's okay. There's definitely parts on some of these where I'm like, that is messy AF, and I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm going to leave it there. It's one part out of 20 million. It will live. I don't know if I have enough water on this one. Nope. Get a little bit more. Let's try this again. There we go. And you can see it's actually filling it up by itself there. It's probably a slightly too much water, but we have paint in here, so it should just blend in. I'm gonna make sure it's filled up this area first, and then I'm gonna pull it back. So I'll rotate the brush pretty frequently if I need like a specific, because there is a little bit of a, because I didn't model my brush last time, there's a little bit of curl at the end. Last time I let my brush dry out, I didn't put it in the modeling stuff. Okay. New bit of paint. That actually looks really good. I think I've got some of this mixed in well enough that we can just kind of pick it up now. We don't have to keep mixing in between every... Oops. This is a really good viscosity here. It's not completely sucking in via the stuff, but it's also got plenty of paint and stuff on it so that it's going to be nice and clean at the end. Just got that one nook there that doesn't want to fill in. Right there. And sometimes that happens because the angle of attack I'm coming from, that side doesn't fill in, so I have to come from the other side. Alright, well, we're making progress. That's all I can do is take baby steps, and eventually it will be done. You also find it funny but weird that the day and month for Cybertron came out as the same day and month for your birthday. Oh, that is really funny. That's kismet. Also trying to be very careful not to bonk the microphone. Like I said, it's right next to my head. It's actually over here. It's right behind my light. Normally, well, I should say it's right in front of my light. It's in between me and the light, but... Alright. Thank you, Jamie Brown, for this sub. I still have not figured out how to make YouTube do the correct sub animations. I think I might need to double check to see if... I really have no idea how to get YouTube to play the same subs as, like the animations and sound and everything as my other subscriptions. Might come back and do this. This is where it was extra watery. You can see it's not very white there. But I've also got some other things like this one's not very white, so we may come back to that. Okay, let's grab a little bit more. That is so much paint. Look at all that paint. Oh my gosh. I would like a little bit less, please. Maybe that'll work. Let me see if I can actually do like a little dry wash. If you're wondering why this is covered in paint, I use this. This is quote unquote a cutting mat, but it's a really crappy cutting mat that was a gift from someone, and I have a much better cutting mat, so this one is the one I paint on. And so when I'm dry brushing, I will smear it all over this and then go onto the thing I'm dry brushing onto. You can really see the curve of the brush there. Yeah, I don't like what I have going on right here. Let's just immediately wipe that off and see if I can model the brush a little bit better here. That's way better. And then hopefully I got the viscosity right. Way better. Sometimes it's actually good to just kind of give up on a thing and start over. In this case, it's not completely from scratch. It's just my brush was not cooperating and I needed to just make it do it again. Like early on, we're getting like a whole inch of movement, right? And then now I'm like really slowing down. You know what I forgot for the stream? I did not grab anything for me to drink. And I'm already thirsty. I don't know about that crack. I'm gonna skip that crack there because I think that's actually a crack in this. And it's not supposed to be filled with white. According to my own desires, so we're gonna skip that. We'll come back and I'll look at it after we wipe it back. Yeah, I think that's about right. And it's a lot of paint, but I can make do, I think. My shoulder's already angry at me. You're like the biggest Transformers nerd? You've read the books and the comics and play the games, you've seen all the movies and seen almost all the USA shows, just missing one. Which one are you missing? Which one of the USA shows are you missing? I have not seen any of the newest Rescue Bot stuff. I'm assuming whatever like the last season was. I saw some of the earlier seasons when I used to have like satellite. I'm missing some of the Japanese shows for sure. What was it? Season 3? G1 Season 3? That's Japanese only? I don't think I've watched that. At least not in its entirety. I may have. It's possible, but I don't think I have. That would have been so long ago. Okay, I don't know. And that's a good example of having to like swap sides to get paint inside the... And that's also like a recessed piece and a recessed piece because this piece of stone here is like falling away, so it's slightly lower than this side and this side. You're missing Energon. You have not seen it. Okay. Well, that's at least an easier one to catch up on. How have you seen Armada and all the other Japanese shows, but not Energon? Was it just a choice? You decided to like stop watching at that point and you haven't gotten back to it yet? Also, if there's, I think there's another new Transformers stuff that they did on the hub that I never saw, and then whatever they're doing like online now, or if they have a kids show on television I haven't seen. I know they have like, oh, like, didn't they do like a Cyberverse show? I never watched that, for sure. Basically anything past Rescue Bots I haven't seen. There was I think there was the online only thing where John Bailey was doing Prime in that one too, I think, in addition to Transformers 1. Wasn't he doing it in the show? I don't know. Let's just go for it. We're gonna deal with the consequences as we go. Don't be afraid, just do it. Still afraid, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay, that's awful. I just don't like approaching it from that angle. And I know it's probably not a really good view for you guys either, but like this is hard for me. I should probably move the lamp onto my left since I'm left-handed. And then the light will be coming. I'm just afraid my hand would get in the way of the shadows, but I have to tilt it so I can, because the shadows are coming from the right side, so you can't see while I'm on this side. That's fine, I guess, for now. We can come back to it later. Just want to make sure I fill this in all the way and then wipe it back clean. And then if we feel like doing the green today, we can do the green. The green is way easier. It's a Vallejo dropper bottle, and it's already at the right viscosity, so I usually just drop it in one of these, spread it out, and then continue to spread it. I don't even use a repository of any kind. Alright, this is not as clean up here, because I couldn't wipe it back, but it's okay. The green will help cover it up as well. It's more important that, because the green's going to lower the contrast a lot, it's not going to be the white on black. More important that I just get the white in there so that the green can pop, because the green will melt into the black. It's completely like translucent, which is why it needs the white backing. You've seen Armada, Cybertron, G1, Beast Wars, Power of the Primes. I don't know what Power of the Primes is, so I probably haven't seen that. Combiner Wars, Titans, Return. Don't think I've seen either of those. Prime, Cyberverse, and War for Cybertron trilogy, and Transformers Animated, and Earthspark. Yeah, I think I watched like one episode of Earthspark, and that was it. So there's quite a bit I'm missing in there. So it sounds like you're also missing the Japanese, like, I don't know if you included it in G1 or not. You didn't specify, but the extra season is that technically Combiner Wars? That might be technically Combiner Wars. I don't remember. I have not talked Transformers stuff in so long. I haven't even thought about Transformers stuff in so long. Oh, this is the worst angle. Just trying to get the paint in there. Oh, there I hit the microphone. Let me move this my extra screen here out of the way, and then I'm less likely to bump it. It's my headphones hitting the windscreen on the mic. Ancient technology. Retracted. Yeah, this is Necron terrain, so there's like a dude in a sarcophagus here. This is technically part of a Kill Team box, but I don't play Kill Team, so it's just some cool terrain for me. I'm not opposed to playing Kill Team, I just have not done it. I don't own the core rules, and I got the box for 40k, and also because I love collecting terrain and painting terrain. Oh, I just kind of smeared that on there. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's awful. Oh, I feel so bad. Yeah, that's really gross. You know what I have? A card here that might be able to soak up a bit more. Yeah. I have an actual, like, cardstock card here from a person. I also have some paper over here that's a nice newsprint paper that would be pretty absorbent. So, like, this, yeah. I've got, like, this is, like, LARPing stuff, so I use newsprint paper for LARPing, and this is really absorbent. This would also be really good for wiping that back if I get another issue. That's a little piece of cat fur. That's one of our black cat's pieces of fur. Single thread of their hair in there. You've seen the Japanese Headmaster series, only some of it. Okay. I like to focus on these smaller dots first, and then I can just get the connecting bits in between, because it needs way less paint. So the first batch of paint goes in the... I can just kind of smush into the dots, and then I can guide the paint into the valleys in between. Yeah, I might need... I'm gonna grab that card again. Because it's not as clean as I would like it. And part of it's going to be because my fingers are getting wet, which we have water here, we can clean my fingers off. Hi, Chalupa. I'm assuming Batman. BT Man? I'm well, how are you? This is a Necron terrain piece. Yeah, this is from the Kill Team box. We have another little piece down here that we did a little bit of earlier. And then we have some generic terrain that we're going to be working on afterwards, if we don't do the green on this first. Okay, let's get back in here. Okay. There's a lot of little tendrils in this particular spot, so I'm gonna wipe this one back like immediately. That was an interesting shape on that one. That one actually kind of has the like half moon from the Necron symbol at the top. Which most of these are complete circles. They do like a little circuit boardy thing, but that one's a little bit different. One of the things I like about painting these is clearly like, you know, there's an artist that probably a 3D artist that's going in and sculpting all of this. And when you're playing the game, you don't appreciate all that, right? But if you're painting it, you have to sit here and look at every little, especially if you're not just doing like a base coat. Base coat, I'm just like, just smash it in there. But then when I'm like doing this and I'm actually doing like some detail work, I'm like, oh, yo, there's like little pieces of debris in here. And then there's like, looking at the design, it's not like they just copied and pasted a sculpted piece in here. They literally sculpted this all the way around because this is not a repeated pattern somewhere else unless they cut it out, like cut it in half. It's got the circle with the basically 4 cardinal points on it, which is fairly like, it's like over here would be the circle with the 4 cardinal points on it. And then I wouldn't be surprised if like that's copy and pastable. But then like they did it with specifically the 2-sided balls and then a half moon on the other side, which is not repeated anywhere else I've seen. So like that's a cool little thing, like as you're painting. You're waiting on your 3D printer to finish and more Krieg boxes to come in the mail. What all do you work on? Do you just paint in general, or do you play anything? There's a very long straight piece here too. I think that's the longest straight line. This whole side on this corner, like, is rough. Very interesting. It's so sparse. Like this corner is fairly sparse. It's got that nice little circle and then the 3 coming off of it, and that's kind of it. But most of the other spots are, this one's just 2 circles connected to each other, but it's usually so busy. I had to do a test print, so knights. You're printing Chaos Knights and building a Krieg army for play. A knight is a lot to print for a test. Are you specifically looking for like fault lines and stuff, or what are you specifically testing for on your print? I'm actually going to clean this brush off. We've been brushing just long enough that some of the paint is actually drying up top. I don't want that. It's your first print with Jupiter SE. Okay, that's a much better. Now that we have a nice clean brush again, let's grab some more paint. There we go. Apple recorded episode 1 of Transformers Prime to a VHS tape on an old CRT VCR combo TV because you had a lot of G1 on videotapes, some from the 90s to record. Or some from 90s, some recorded. Okay, there's another crack in the stone here. Let's rotate. And then I think I like approaching it better from this side so I don't get the shadow of these giant like pylon things. This raised dais. And hopefully that makes it easier for y'all to see too. I should pull up my screen so I can see specifically what I'm showing y'all. Alright, the mold is a little blotchy there. I'm gonna have to make some assumptions about what's actually the tech and what's actually a crack. Let's get the card out. This is kind of messy here. This spot I'm gonna blame the mold. Just how that is. Yeah, I got a little bit of white inside the crack, but that's fine. We'll fill it with green. Okay. What are we looking at here? It's kind of thick, but I think if I thin it out a little bit more, I think I can just kind of smush it in here. There we go. Yeah, some of this is a little bit blurry from the wipe, but I think once we get the green on there, it's going to become unnoticeable, generally speaking. I do not have any Krieg, no. I have Necrons, and I have a tiny, tiny amount of AdMech. I'm avoiding grabbing anything AdMech until I'm, like, done with my Necron stuff. I have, mostly modern stuff. I don't really have anything that's out of print on Necrons, I don't think. And I avoided grabbing some things that I knew that, so, like, I'm really excited for the new Nightbringer to come out. I didn't like the old model, so I never got it, but the new model I do like. And then AdMech, I just generally like AdMech. I like the way they look. And I have my color scheme picked out for them. I'm going to be doing a Metallica color scheme. Got the right paints for it. I've got a really nice pearl that I want to be like the base, and I can mix it with some silver. There was a time that one of your Transformers figures you got marked on clear plastic that you did research. It was not a stress mark or a crack. You got lucky. There was only 3 of the figure in stock. Did you replace it? You just found a mark? Like, was it a mixing error in the plastic? There's a long straight line here. Those are the most stressful, I think, because they're the ones I'm like, oh, I want it to be clean, but you can't get that clean. My brush is not neat enough for that. There we go. I'm gonna clean off my fingertips again, covered in paint. I want them to function well. It was a remold, so it was a mold mark. Okay. I usually end up with a lot of paint all over my person whenever I'm doing anything, whether it's a costume or a mini or whatever. Okay, fingers are clean enough. They should function. We are almost done. This was going way faster than anticipated, but like I said, we're probably going to touch up some spots that are a little bit dark. I don't know, maybe it'll look good once it's got the green on it. It'll be some variation on the green, so I may not touch them up. Because the green's going to be going on very thick. Like I said, it's super translucent. And it's already very watery by default, so it will completely fill every gap. Oh, thank you, Chalupa Batman, for the follow. That's how the follow was supposed to go. So, Jamie Brown, pretend that's what you got when it said that you subbed on YouTube. It's supposed to be Ambra. Gotta run. It was nice meeting you. Good luck with your painting journey. Thank you. You too. It was nice of you to stop by. Okay. We're so close. I think I really appreciate having a distraction from the progress that we're making so I don't think about it and stress about it too much. And I want to just push myself to get it done, so streaming makes it a little bit more tolerable. And then, like, normally, if I wasn't streaming, I would have gotten a drink by now, and I probably would have used that as an excuse to go do something else. But now I will just be thirsty for a little bit. I'll get a drink later, and I will have finished this piece, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. It'll just be, this section of it will be done. This finger's still a little wet. Let's swap hands. Okay, I grabbed a little bit of fresh water from there so I could separate it from the mixed in water here so I could model the brush a little bit better. This might be the last, I don't know, maybe one more. Is that a hair? Nope, that's just a mold line of some kind. We might actually be able to. I'm going to double back on this piece because it's not as bright as I would like. Also going to double back on that spot too. All right, one more. You're very, very careful with Transformers figures with clear plastic. You're gentle moving it because clear plastic can crack from too much force, and clear plastic cracks are fatal. Yeah, so I have Human Alliance Jazz is a really, really... At the time, it was very well known that the windows on him, which are supposed to fold up and down, the car door windows, for like the driver and passenger door, are supposed to fold up and down, and they have a clear plastic hinge, and they're a well-known issue, and I know I have some cracks in mine, so I try not to touch it. I actually have it really close, and I can bring it up. Let's set this down. We basically have this done. I'm going to clean off the brush really quickly, so we don't have to worry about that having issues, and I'll show off the piece, and then we can look at Jazz really quickly, too. I have a lot of Transformers that are within hand's reach of me. I keep my desk decorated with them. My favorite ones. Okay. Let me pick this up really quickly. Make sure that that is like... We can do a nice... Here's what the guy looks like. So all this white is going to be green, like the parts that are green already. This camera in particular does not pick up the gold very well. I already have a little bit of gold on these scarabs. And then this one doesn't have any gold on it, but the other pieces I have that I've finished painting that are not in this area have gold and silver accents on them. And then let's grab Human Alliance Jazz really quick. It is right here. It's these arm parts right here. The hinges are inside of there, which I think this side might be... Yeah, you can kind of see... Nah, not really. But I can unfold this, and you can see the clear plastic hinge in there. This one already has some, like, stress cracks on it. So I try not to transform him, like, at all. Let's see if I can get this back down without touching the clear plastic. yeah, so there's Human Alliance Jazz with the clear plastic stuff. And he has the same, like, on his visor up here, which I believe that pops up and down on the back of his head. Yeah. I'm gonna pop his head up and then pop that back down. Very cute. This is a really great figure. Human Alliance is my favorite toy series, so I have that always on display. It's the size class, in my opinion, is perfect. The detail, the complexity of the transformations, everything about them is my favorite. So I have all the Human Alliance figures. I even went out of my way, and I got Soundwave, who was not released in America, but I did still get an English version because it was released in Australia. And so I got it at a BotCon. This is so covered in dust. I have not dusted these in a long time. Oh no. Okay, but I do have Human Alliance Soundwave. Also, really, really nice figure. Really, really cool figure. I love it. Both modes. Very cool. And then honorable mentions for Lugnut from... Which series is he from? This is the Reveal the Shield series Lugnut. He has a big backpack, which sucks, but otherwise... Also dusty. Otherwise, very cool Transformers animated figure that was translated into Movieverse. I really love everything about this, from, you know, the vehicle mode to how they translated it into this, like, Movieverse form. I really, really like it. They did a really nice job on him. And his chest pieces move forward really cool, and he turns into, you know, like a World War II plane. You can see the jaws on there. I really love the military figures as well. So, like, there's, I don't remember what they're called. Highbrow is a really fun figure. It turns into an old plane. Like a World War I plane, I want to say. Oh no, I think it's actually a World War II. It's like a 1950s plane. And then there's some other really cute ones, like the Insecticon. Very cute, very cute. And then we also have lots of War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron figures. There's Kickback. This one I had to get secondhand at a store because I couldn't find this one in person. Stuff like that. I have, like I said, my desk is covered in Transformers. Yeah. I think... How long have we been going for? Only about an hour? I think I'm actually, it's probably where I'm going to call it. Because I do not want to paint these right now. This would be the next thing that we would be painting, is these windows. Like I said at the beginning, they need to go like this. It needs to be that white accent. And I just don't feel like doing that right now. It's actually super easy. I'd probably actually use a larger brush, and then we would just go down the side of the brush, basically. It's super dirty, quick and dirty, but I just don't feel like doing that right now, so that's probably going to be it for this stream. It's funny, the figure you were talking about is a Legacy Knockout, who is remold of 86 Jazz, and the doors are parts of the car go up and down to fold in the backpack, and the hinges are clear plastic. Yeah, yep. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate everyone who showed up. Thank you guys for the follows and the subs, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.